What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talktagon episode 10 here on Body Slam. Thanks for listening. I am Brady. With me, as always, Max. We are going over UFC Mexico from this past Saturday. Solid card. But yeah, how you doing today, Max?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Pretty solid event this weekend. And I also watched a wrestling documentary, so I know you'll be happy to hear about that. It's a really casual one because, as you guys know, Brady is more of a wrestling fan here. I don't really watch
Yeah.
that much, but I kind of know a little bit, but not much, as you're about to find out. So, yeah, I watched the Ric Flair 30 for 30 on ESPN. I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm like, dang, I didn't know how he had a kid wrestling and stuff. So yeah, I was like, dang,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know
Two.
anything seriously, bro. Yeah, too. So I was like, seemed like a crazy story, that's for sure.
Yeah. Certainly wild. And I know there's what is it? It's called A Plane Ride from Hell, I believe. It's a
Oh
it's a episodic documentary series called Dark Side of the Ring, and it kind of has to do with Ric Flair, and it doesn't really put him in the best light, but it is
yeah, he seemed a
interesting.
little crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, um, yeah, but yeah, we do have UFC Mexico from Saturday, solid. Um,
Yep.
I wasn't mad at it. Some decent, some finishes, which was nice from London. We didn't get
Yeah,
many,
I know that
but
was so surprising. You thought that card would for sure have more finishes, and it ended up not having like any TKOs. But this one made up for it, thankfully.
yeah, it was good, but and we did good with our picks, as you will see here in a second.
Oh yeah,
Boom, kick off the prelims. We didn't do
let's
too bad,
go.
so we kick off with Markel Metaros versus Austin Hubbard. Metaros won via split decision 29-28 across the board. So yeah, both men did
Yeah,
great with the leg kicks in round one. I mean, Hubbard started to hype up in round two, and he won it with grappling. He tried some submission attempts, obviously didn't get any, but he looked good. He was on.
yeah,
He had Barbaros on his back and he for the whole round, and then round three, Hubbard grappled immediately, got taken down. Medeiros did start to get up towards the end of the round and did cut Hubbard. A lot of people thought that Hubbard won this fight, but went to a split decision for Medeiros, and I was not mad at it because we picked him.
exactly.
So
Yeah, it was
yeah,
one of those where it's like it kind of could have gone either way because it wasn't the most exciting fight. So I'm like, you can't be mad at the judges for not giving it to Hubbard when it's a close fight. You know what they say, just don't leave it to the judges if it's going to be close. So
yeah,
yeah, if I was a judge, I probably would have gave it to Hubbard, but thankfully I wasn't. So for us, we got the win here. We started at 1-0 on our predictions. And yeah, I think Hubbard, yeah, it's tough going for him lately. I don't know. So he might need to get an easier opponent, or it might be time to step down in competition a little bit. Maybe go back to a different promotion, get some wins going.
yeah. I agree. I mean, like you said, not the most interesting fight. So I do think the cut in the third round he damaged him. So
Yeah,
damage won the fight. So
yeah, it makes sense.
understandable. Yeah, not the most entertaining fight, but how about the next one? Holy cow. Can't say entertaining fight, I can say entertaining moment because it was so fast.
Yeah,
Jamal Emmers defeats Gabriel Miranda via knockout in round one. I just wrote on my notes, holy shit, because it
yeah,
was crazy. Emmers basically rocked him like immediately. Miranda did get a takedown. He tried to choke, but then he didn't get it. Emmers back up to the feet, just wobbled again and then flatlined like badly. Miranda just
yeah.
had zero. He had zero striking defense. Like he just, I
None.
don't know. He just let his chin up and let his face wide open, and he got caught and laid out bad.
Yeah, dude. I was worried when he had that submission almost locked in. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
looked
Emers
tight,
is
but it
looking
was
so
like
good.
on the
Yeah, it was just
chin.
not quite the right angle. And then Emers was able to get out of there, and man, what a performance for Emers, dude. He's kind of one of those fighters where he's up and down, not always the most consistent in terms of getting wins, but man, what a performance here. He looks amazing. And yeah, I'm excited to hopefully he can turn it around quickly because, I mean, besides that choke, he didn't really take much damage at all. And that isn't really as bad as actually getting hit in the face. So, hey, I want to see him get back in there relatively soon, after that performance because, man, he looked good, dude.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw the video of his coaches like fighting after. That
No,
was
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
weird.
I
That
know,
was so
yeah.
strange.
I mean, for real, the coaches, clearly he gets the nastiness from them because they're ready to scrap even after they wanted more fights. For real, they're like, that wasn't enough.
Yeah, it was weird, but hey, he did good. I mean, I picked Miranda because I thought what happened with the takedown would happen the entire time. I thought he was going to just easily get him down, go for the submission, and he almost had it. It was tight, but again,
Yeah.
just had it on the chin instead of the neck, and Evers was able to slip out. But I did not expect his defense to be that bad on the feet because he just left himself wide open.
Yeah, that was just an insane, honestly. It just goes to show that, man, you got to be durable. Nick. You can be as skilled as you can and as skilled as you are on the submissions, but if you're not able to take a hit, well, it's useless.
Yeah, exactly. But I went with Miranda. You went with Emers. You're 2-0. I'm 1-1 here as we head into the next bout. So we have Rafa Garcia versus Vince Michelle. This was a interesting fight. Garcia did get the win via unanimous decision 30-27, 30-27, and then 29-28. So solid striking from both. I thought it was very clear that Michelle was just slower.
Yeah.
Garcia got the takedown in round one. Round two, Pichel was landing some nice jabs. He kind of beat up the left eye a little bit, and then he poked him with a thumb. But then, thankfully, Garcia was able to go back.
Yeah.
Pichel really started turning on after the break a little bit, but then round three, Garcia started to turn around, had a solid round with striking, got some takedowns, and won the fight. Nothing crazy here, but yeah, like I said, I just thought Pichel looked noticeably slower than Garcia.
Yeah, dude. Pichel's getting pretty old. I know that they say that he won't retire until he feels like he can't keep up with the young guys in his gym, but I don't know, man. I think that's 3 losses in a row for him now. Thankfully, he hasn't been getting finished, so it's not like he's getting knocked out every time he gets out there. He's actually only been finished twice in his entire career, but
Yeah.
I do think that it's getting closer, especially when it comes to the speed. I'm like, that's really starting to go big time. He was never the fastest fighter to begin with, so the fact that it's getting becoming more of a weakness as he gets older, I definitely don't think it's going to get any better from here. So yeah, so I think that even though I wasn't that impressed with Garcia, at least he was able to get the win. But I do think that with what he was working with, I think that it shouldn't have been that competitive because, yeah, Pichel looked pretty slow in there. I mean, he's always a crafty veteran, great fighter, but I think the athleticism is just starting to go. And Garcia wasn't able to do that much, honestly. It's like it was honestly a pretty close fight, even though I agree with the decision. But Pichel was putting on a better fight than he should have, considering he's like 42. So Garcia gonna have to step it up for his next performance if he's gonna want to be considered an actual legit contender.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so far I didn't get anything from this fight that tells me, champion or
Oh yeah,
top guy, but it is what it is.
yeah. At least he was able
I
to get
think,
back in the win column.
yeah. Um, but hey, we both picked Garcia, so we got that.
Yep. Hey,
2-1 for me, 3-0 for you. You're cooking right now.
let's freaking go.
And then we move on to the next fight. I will say that there was no fight of the night bonus, but if there was, I think this one had a good shot at it because
For real, dude. They haven't been
these
doing that
women,
lately.
yeah, it's been all performances. There's 4 performance bonuses for the finishes, none for fight of the night. But this fight, I enjoyed this fight.
Oh yeah.
So, Lupi Godinez defeats Julia Plaster via unanimous decision 29-28 across the board. So Lupi looked dominant in round one. I mean, the wrestling, she was just taking her down. Julia went for a kick, she caught it, and then basically power bombed her on her neck. That was wild.
Insane.
Round 2, Loopy
landed.
again dominated again with wrestling in round 2. Julia was just too slow in the transitions. She just couldn't get up. But in the third round, Julia started coming back on the feet with some great striking. I mean, she was landing everything. And then she was getting hit back a little bit, but she was just walking through it like a zombie. I don't know. Her arms were down. She was just like stalking her, just like arms down, like you can't hurt me. He was like walking through her and landing shots. It was great. And then they just both slugged it out for the last minute. Obviously, neither went down, but it was very fun. It was a good fight. But again, Loopy did get the decision. I agreed with the scorecards. I thought Loopy definitely won 1 and 2 and then lost 3. So good job. Very, very good fight. Crowd was on their feet for this.
Absolutely insane. That third round was absolute madness, dude. Both the women landed over 50 strikes just in that round. So, and both of them nearly threw 100 strikes in that one round. We've seen some fights with less activity in across freaking 5 rounds. So,
yeah,
shout out to these two for actually putting it all out there. And yeah, dude, Julia was just going super villain mode in the end, dude. Just walking straight forward, going Terminator mode, like looked like a robot. I don't know how it was like the endurance too. From that, the first 2 rounds were pretty one-sided, and then they both are able to put on that sort of cardiovascular show where they're just unleashing for the entire round. That was just an amazing fight. It's kind of bullshit that they didn't get any sort of bonus, so I think that they need to get that back going. I'm like, what happened to Fight of the Night, dude? I'm like, let's reward people for doing good fights, not just getting a KO or something, or sometimes not even getting a KO. It's like they'll be giving bonuses for a decision. I'm like, I just don't get that. Yeah. I'm like, I just don't get that. I'm like, I'm glad he won, but I'm like, how about we get Fight of the Night again? That was actually, I don't know why they wouldn't. It's just weird. But yeah. Shout out to Loopy, dude. One of my favorite women's fighters, always putting on a crazy performance. Has a heart of a warrior, and yeah, I'm glad she got the win here.
Yeah, and I know we said it for like the past 2 weeks, but again, another week where the women do not disappoint, and people keep hating, but they keep on proving them wrong.
Exactly, bro. Absolutely insane. Like, especially the last few cards, especially, it was insane. Where it's like every male fight was boring as fuck, and then the ladies were like going insane.
You were like 2 finishes immediately, submissions last week, this week Fight of the Night, which should have been Fight of the Night. Crazy. Just
for Rob of a bonus.
100%. But we both did pick Loopy, so we got that. I got 1 loss. You had none so far, but the next one hurt. I'll be honest, the next fight hurt my soul.
Dude, we always mess this one up, bro. I swear.
So Christian Rodriguez is every time I think he's gonna lose, I pick the other guy and he wins. And then when I pick him, he loses. I don't know what am I supposed to do here? This guy, he's supposed to be the prospect killer. I mean, they put him up against some undefeated prospects and he beats them. But then they put him against a not undefeated guy and he loses. I don't know what's going on with him, but Melchior Quaziel, however the fuck you say his name, Costa, defeated Christian Rodriguez via unanimous decision 29-28 across the board. I thought there was just a lot of grappling in this one, for sure a lot. Christian had an anaconda early in round 1, but it was reversed. Then Costa wrote off the rest of the round on the top. In round 2, Costa was more dominant with the wrestling. He did cut him in like his eyelash region, and he was busted up pretty bad. He did have him hurt. Christian survived though. Round 3, Christian came back. Multiple trip takedowns. He just kept tripping him and taking him down. It was really good, but lots of ground and pound. And then I thought that round 2, Costa won. Round 3, Christian won. And then the judge's decision would have had to come down at round 1. I thought the grappling exchanges in round 1 were, it was close, and I didn't know who won this one. So I wouldn't call it a robbery, but obviously I was hoping for Christian, but Costa got the win here.
Yeah, dude. It's just so weird with Christian, like you were saying. He just is the prospect killer when it comes to undefeated guys, dude. Let me see here. In the UFC versus undefeated fighters, he's 4-0. And then versus non-undefeated fighters, he's 1-3. Literally.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
it's just insane. I'm like, his record gets worse the more losses you have, the more likely you are to win. I'm like, this is just so weird. I'm like, it's like the opposite. Where normally you'd be like, all right, this guy seems to be every up and coming prospect that we are high on. And then he fights someone who has some few losses, but some more experience, and he can't seem to get it done. So yeah, it's just a really weird scenario where this keeps happening. It's like you think that he's gonna start getting some momentum. Oh, he just beat all these guys, and then he'll fight some veteran and then lose. I'm like, it's just so weird, dude. So I think he's just gonna be one of those guys who might not be one of the best guys in terms of a ranked opponent, but he is good enough to make sure these new guys are UFC worthy or not, because he seems like the undefeated guys don't seem to like seeing him, but the veterans don't seem to have a problem with him. So yeah, shout out to Costa. He looked pretty good out there. It was definitely a close fight, but yeah, I agree with the decision. But yeah,
there's also
yeah, my first L, but arguably my second if you count the first one, the first fight. If you wanted to count it for Hubbard, but we're gonna say my first L.
My thing here with Christian is like, if you're looking at it from a UFC standpoint, as a business standpoint, it's so confusing at what you're supposed to do with this kid, because do you want to sacrifice all of your up and coming stars, undefeated, against this guy, just for him to then turn around and lose to everyone else?
Yeah,
and then that one loss on your undefeated guy's record looks even worse because he's not beating anyone else. Yeah. So it's like, do you want to sacrifice that, or do you just want to feed Christian to the wolves, have him fight regular ass fights like
this,
and just keep losing, and then eventually get fired? So
yeah, it's like I feel like he's gonna have to get a win in this next fight, because it's just so weird. It's just such a weird scenario, dude. I just can't put my head around it. I like you said, whenever we pick against him, he wins, and then when we pick him, he loses. So it's hard to say. We clearly don't know what's up with him.
True. I'm not saying Costa sucks by any means. I'm not saying he sucks. He doesn't suck. He's really good.
Not at all.
But in this scenario, he's literally like, this is the best fighter, and I'll beat him. This is the worst fighter, and I'll lose. It's like it's so backwards. It's so strange.
Yeah, literally.
Again, not saying Costa sucks, but it's like these guys who can lose have lost, and you lose to them, but the guys who never lost always win. You beat them. It's so weird. It's strange.
With relative ease too, low key. I'm like, he looks amazing in those fights, and then in these ones, I'm like, he looks kind of just like an average UFC fighter, you know? So it's a weird one.
Yeah, it was certainly weird, but I'll tell you,
he's not even old himself. He's like 26 or mid-20s or something. So I'm like, I keep thinking that this guy's himself is going to keep getting better. Okay, he's 27 actually. Yeah, it's like I just keep thinking that I'm like, this guy's going to get better every time. He keeps beating all these prospects, but one step forward, one step back. But he is only 27, so he definitely still has a lot of time in his career if he is able to get some wins together.
Yeah, I agree. So hopefully we'll see. As far as Costa goes, I think he could get a pretty solid opponent next. You look good.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you one prospect Christian Rodriguez does not want to fight.
Oh, hell no.
And that's what actually holy shit. Obviously, joking. They're not in the same division, but I don't think anyone wants to fight this guy after this.
No.
Ataba Getier defeats Jose Daniel Medina via TKO at round 1 with a knee This was fucking crazy. Gautier is. I wrote on my notes. Gautier is scary as shit
Yeah.
because the dude is like. They kept drawing comparison to Francis Ngannou, and like he's not even a heavyweight, but he looks fucking huge.
Yeah.
He's
He looks like a light
shredded,
heavyweight at least, you know?
dude. Yeah, he's shredded. He's relatively tall. He just looks fucking big, and he looks scary. Like he looks. You look at this guy, and you're like, I
For
don't
real,
want to fight
bro.
this
All
guy.
muscle. Yeah, well, these are his stats, bro. 6'4", 81-inch reach. Absolutely ridiculous, bro.
And apparently hits like a goddamn truck because nobody takes out Medina. We saw in Medina's last
Yeah,
fight, this dude can take damage. He can get his ass
exactly.
whooped.
Never even
And
finished.
until now, Goodyear just
Yeah.
basically pieced him up the whole time, put him against the cage, hit him with a nice shot to the face and then to the body. He kind of like bent down a little bit and then just knee right up the middle, dropped him. I know a lot of people were kind of calling this an early stoppage, but like it was it was
For
inevitable.
real. I'm like, exactly. I'm like, it was inevitable, dude. It was like, just, you could tell the power difference is just on a whole nother level where Medina would land and it'd barely phase Gautier, and then he'd
Right
land and
through it.
then he'd like send him halfway across the goddamn ring. So yeah, it was just crazy that bring it on and then getting kneed like 10 seconds after. I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be a meme for your whole career now, Medina. But yeah, Medina now 3 losses in a row. So I honestly think that he probably needs to step back down outside of the UFC.
Yeah.
He's a tough fighter, but I don't think he's quite has the danger level to present to some of these better guys in the UFC to keep him off of him. So yeah, man, especially Gautier, because oh my gosh, dude, every
Yeah.
single time he landed, it hurt, and he was so. And it's not like he was throwing haymakers. It was like he was staying composed,
No.
staying within himself, landing clean shots only. And you could tell he was looking to find those shots, and he wasn't just hoping. So yeah, I'm really intrigued with this guy. I think that he could definitely be a major contender, especially as he develops. He's only 22 years old, so this dude could be a future
Damn.
champion.
You don't look
Future
22.
champion. Yeah. So if he's legit, has that much more freaking fighting years left, then this guy could have a crazy career full of highlight real KOs because wow.
Yeah.
He's even more on my radar than he was before now.
100%. I'm gonna be watching out for this guy, and everyone should because it was crazy. But like you said, the composure really surprised a lot of people. They pointed this out, but when you have power, right? When it is mostly for heavyweights, but when you have power, they just go for it. They swing. They
Yeah.
try to knock you out. They try to take your head off. The composure that this guy had for the power that he holds was very, very, very good. Like he
Yeah.
was only striking in shots where he knew he was going to land. He was very just calm and did not even the finish. He didn't rush it. It was just gonna fight, and whatever happens. That's what it felt like. He was just, he'd throw. Obviously, he was throwing hard, clearly, but
Yeah.
it was just very like I'm only gonna throw hard when I know I'm gonna land. Because you see a lot of
Yeah.
guys just like swinging and going for the fences and missing. Obviously, that tires you out a lot. So
Yeah.
whoever's his coaches, they know what they're doing, and he was very, very, very good,
100%.
especially for someone who's only 22. I didn't realize he was 22. He's
Only 22,
goddamn.
yeah, and that was only his 8th pro fight. So for how young and how inexperienced he is, absolutely insane how composed he's able to stay. Because yeah, dude, most of his fights are ending in round 1 or 2, so it's not like he probably has like less than 20 rounds of actual pro fights because how quickly he gets these guys out of here. So this guy, man, I'm super excited for this prospect. The middleweights are going to have to watch out because in a few years, if this guy keeps the wins coming, those ranked middleweights, he's coming for you.
We have this dude. We have Ngannou. Apparently, if you want power, you got to go to Cameroon because that's where it's all at. It's all over there. I don't know what's going on over in Cameroon, but they all got fucking power.
For
This is
real,
crazy.
bro. He literally kind of does look like a Francis's little brother type build, where it's like obviously Francis would be way bigger than him, but for a middleweight, I'm like, I could see if Francis was just like 20% smaller, I could see it.
Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, as you can see, this was our prelim headliner because a fight got canceled on the main card. Sadly, literally as the card was starting, they announced the cancellation, which was
sad.
Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer was taken off of the main card because
real,
Pyfer
bro.
was sick, and then
yeah, bro.
He said some things. And
yeah, bro. Pyfer was like, "I'm never going to that shithole country again because I got food poisoning. It's not trustworthy." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, all right, Pyfer, relax, bro. People get sick before fights all the time, bro. Like, no need to take it out on the whole country, bro. I'm like, dude, but I understand he's probably getting roasted online, so he's probably just back having an emotional reaction to that and just being pissed off about not getting paid too, because obviously he doesn't get paid for not fighting. So I understand why he was mad, but he's not doing himself any favors trying to become looking like a respectable sort of dude, bro. I'm like, bro, I've been to Mexico myself and I was completely fine and ate plenty of food, bro. And like, I was completely fine. And all the other fighters were completely fine too, bro. So I'm like, you definitely have to be careful where you are visiting a different country, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for what goes in your own body, bro. So
yeah. And I guess I'll mention this now since we're on the topic, but sadly, pain. The next pay-per-view, we're supposed to stat card, still is a stat card, but we're supposed to have
bro.
Carlos Pratas versus Jeff Neal. They announced that fight has been taken off of the pay-per-view card because Jeff Neal is injured, I guess, in training. So that hurt. I was really looking forward to seeing that fight. They did say that Pyfer and Kelvin could be rebooked soon, and then Carlos Pratas could just get a whole different fight soon. So we'll see where that falls. I'm assuming that Kelvin and Pyfer might probably end up on one of these Apex cards, just thrown on the card. As far as Pratas, I have no idea who they're going to put this kid against, but hopefully it's someone fun. But yeah, I just wanted to say that news because I was sad about it.
I know, dude. Me too, bro. And it's weird how it's like a few weeks away, and then they're not able to get a replacement. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I thought about that too. Like, what? Why isn't someone stepping in? I know. People were already tweeting at Kevin Holland to jump. Hey, Kevin, jump in there.
He should.
And then, yeah, I agree. That would be fun.
If you could make the weight.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, he just fought, and it's down, but whatever. We'll see.
For real, bro. That's sad. I wanted to see Pratas fight. I'm like, bro, you guys can do Dan Ige on like less than a day's notice, but you can't.
Bro, an hour's notice.
I'm like, you guys can get. I guess Pratas probably. My guess is probably no one said yes. You know, it's like I feel like based on how he's looking, I wouldn't want to fight him on 2 weeks' notice either.
Yeah, you look like that. And he's smoking cigarettes. I ain't fighting.
Real chain smoking.
But yeah, you did go 5-1. You did go 5-1 in the prelims. I went 4-2. Not terrible for me. Not terrible. Really good for you. Christian Rodriguez sold for you. But
bro, dude, I can't lie though. I did notice this. I do not do this intentionally, bro. I just go off who I think is gonna win, but I'm like looking at this. I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure I picked every single favorite on the card. So of course I went fucking did my best week yet. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, honestly, when I'm picking, I do the same thing. When I'm picking, I don't even look at who's underdog and who's not. I don't look at it.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. I was like, let me see. I'm like, let me see if I'll bet on any of these. I'm like, I see I picked a favorite on every fight. I'm like, oh my god, bro. I was dying. Because I tried. I normally don't do that, but I guess it happened this week.
Well, when I pick, I don't look at favorites or underdogs because I don't want it to influence who I
Yeah.
pick. I just want to look at, okay, here's the card. Who do I actually think is going to win and not base it off of betting?
Yeah. That's
And
honestly smart.
this is who I went with. Obviously, not too bad, but I did get 2 losses. The Rodriguez one I'm not mad about because
It was a pretty close fight, and yeah, for real.
I should have picked Emmers. I will say that. Knowing how bad Miranda looked on the feet, I shouldn't have picked him, but oh well.
Bro, hindsight's always 20/20 with these picks, bro. Me and Brady do this every single event, so we're always being critical of ourselves on our picks. It's funny. Some weeks we'll have rough ones, that's for sure. But hey, we're doing pretty good overall, so that's a really
this week was way better than most. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But we did, especially for you. You crushed it. But we did move on to the main card here.
This one is the one that bugs me the most.
Agreed. So, well, I mean, agreed is slightly. We'll get into my other loss, but yeah, we kicked off the main card with Kevin Borjas defeated Ronaldo Rodriguez via unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27, 30-27. This Ronaldo did miss weight. I'll note that he missed weight for this fight, and he pissed me off. He just straight up pissed me off. And I say in the notes, so Kevin landed 2 beautiful right hands that dropped him in the first round.
Yeah.
A knee also put him down. So he got dropped 3 times in the first round. And it wasn't looking good for him. And when I saw that, I was like, God damn, it's not looking too hot. But I still had a little bit of hope because he's tough. He's tough. I'll give him that. He can take a shot and he can get up and keep going. The one punch, he like rolled back and did like a backflip and landed on his feet. That was kind of wild.
Dude. That was insane.
But round 2, Rodriguez, this is what started to piss me off. Round 2, Rodriguez started just trying all his fancy spinning kicks and
oh my God, yeah.
Whatever the fuck he was doing. And Borjas was just like stepping back, waiting for him to do the spinny, flippy shit, and then landing. And
literally. And he kept doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put down. So round 3, striking battle. Borjas was on fire. Rodriguez is tough, like I said, but he just kept doing the spin. I literally wrote, he needs to stop with all the spinning attacks. It's not working.
Yeah,
that's what I wrote down. It was pissing me off, dude. Every single time, it's like he would get close, and it's like, okay, he's pushing him against the fence. Here he goes. Spin kick. I'm like, bro, fucking stop.
Yeah.
And most of the time, he's trying for like that spinning back heel kick. Boo's like whipping around and hitting him in the back. It wasn't even close to the head.
Like,
fucking
near,
stop.
Bro.
Stop.
Yeah. I'm like, I understand if it got close, but I'm like, bro, you were like falling over every time you tried it, dude. It was so bad, dude. Yeah. So,
I'll say, hey, I guess he has good cardio because he didn't get tired for doing all the spin shit. But good God, stop doing it. Strike.
Exactly. I just didn't see him be able to set anything up. For real, it's just like him just hoping some random shit will land. Where Borjas, you could tell, was actually able to find his shots, look at the timing, analyze what's happening, and time it up beautifully. So yeah, Borjas definitely the best I've seen him look in the UFC for sure.
1,000%. He looked really good.
For real, I'm like, he was 0-2 in the UFC so far, so I was honestly skeptical of him able to get a win here. But looking back at it now, he did really have his back against the wall in this fight. 0-2 in the UFC. He's had some entertaining fights, but obviously hasn't been able to come out with a win until last Saturday. So this is a huge win for him. I thought Ronaldo was going to be able to get the win. Coming off of that Ode Osborne victory, I was like, okay, maybe this guy's legit. And I always liked Borjas' style, but I thought Ronaldo would be too much for him. But man, was I wrong. Borjas made him look like silly in there.
Too much bullshit. That's what the hell he was doing. Too much bullshit.
100%, bro. Borjas beat him with a 1-2, literally, bro. It's like all he had to do was just straight punches and it would land, literally.
And dropped him twice.
Yeah, literally.
What the fuck? And then what pissed me off even more was this guy put a video out on social media where he was like
Yeah, I saw
smiling
this
and
stuff.
he's like, we're so happy after the loss because we had fun. Like it's all about having fun. I'm like, is it?
I'm
You
like,
don't want
were
to
you really
win?
having fun? I'm like, I didn't look
You
like
just
you
want
were
to go
having
out there
fun,
and
bro.
fucking spin around and that's it? You
Yeah,
just want to entertain the crowd by doing spin kicks that don't
for
fucking
real,
land?
bro. Yeah,
That's all you want?
I know.
Like what the fuck?
For real,
I
bro. It was whack, dude.
thank God I didn't bet on it because it would have pissed me off even more.
Yeah. For real, bro. He was just hoping shit would land, literally, bro. I'm like, it's just was not good, bro.
Yeah.
Not good for him. Borjas are great, so I'm glad Borjas. He did have that close fight against Van in his first, or close, but he at least put up a competitive fight against Van in his debut. So I'm like, that was impressive. But then he got finished in his next fight, so I was like, damn, Borjas maybe not gonna be around long. But then after this win, I mean, Rodriguez has like 1 million followers on Instagram, so this dude's a big name.
Dude, yeah. Yeah.
So this is gonna propel him into at least somewhat relevancy, more than he already was. So I hope Borjas can keep this going. He has a really fun style, and for the shaved head, bro, is looking locked in.
Yeah, and they were talking like no disrespect to Rodriguez for this, but like how the fuck does he have 1 million followers? I don't get it. They were
Me
talking
neither, bro.
about they were talking about how this guy can't even go to the store in Mexico because he gets swarmed. I'm like, this dude literally just came
He
to
has
UFC not too long
true
ago. Like, how
2
is he this
wins
popular?
in the UFC,
Yeah, like how
and
like what? Is he a social media guy or something? Like I
I know
genuinely
I
don't
don't even
know.
think I follow him honestly, so I don't know.
I don't. I was like, how? Like, no offense, obviously. Again, it's like I'm not like, oh, you shouldn't, but like, I just don't understand why the guy's
Yeah,
2 fights in UFC has 1 million followers. Everyone's swarming him. Like, I don't get it. Like, I actually don't get it. Like, you would think like
yeah,
Moreno would get this kind of love or something. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
right.
What's up with this guy? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know. So we'll see how his fans seem to respond after this loss. Hopefully, he doesn't get too much flack, but a
Maybe
little bit of
Borjas will get a
accountability
million.
wouldn't hurt. Yeah, a little accountability, but no need to completely change everything. But I mean, maybe stop throwing that spinning shit.
Yeah. So that was a little disappointing, and then we moved on. We both lost that one. 0-1 on the main card, not looking too hot. But David Martinez really brought
Dude,
it
the
back for us.
doctor.
This guy, dude, yeah, this fucking guy. He's good, but he's also doesn't need to do this, which we'll get into in a second. But David Martinez defeats Simon Oliveira via knockout punch, round one. David looked great, nice striking. Oliveira was just way too slow, and about 30 seconds left in the round, David just landed a freaking piston that just took him down, and then he finished him with ground and pound. What a win! And yeah, this guy's good, but like we mentioned, he's a freaking doctor and shit. His family's rich. His sister's also trying to fight or gonna fight, but they don't need it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like he's good, but like
Yeah,
dude's like rich as fuck. Apparently a doctor. Like I said, his parents are both rich. Whatever they do, I don't know. But like
yeah.
he's just like, I'm just gonna do this for fun to be
For a
really good
side
at it.
quest.
Like, damn,
For
bro.
real.
Like save the talent for some of us.
For real, dude. I'm like, me and Brady were joking. And it's like, what's this guy gonna do next, dude? Like, some other sport? Just becomes a pro in for
He's
fun?
gonna
For real, bro.
win the UFC title and then retire and do something
Yeah.
else.
Switch to boxing
Like,
next, for real, bro. I'm like, it was a crazy performance, honestly. And he was a big favorite coming in, and I see why, man. Absolutely destroyed him. Barely got touched. Yeah, so pretty
really.
one-sided, one-way traffic for Martinez. Showed that he's definitely UFC worthy and gonna be a big problem for those lower rank guys at least. Because man, that looked like it was a walk in the park. He barely broke his foot.
Really. Yeah, like not much to say about this
Not
fight
much
as a
to
whole. I
say
mean,
other than
just fucking
good
knocked him out. It
dominance.
was good.
Yeah,
It looked good. But yeah, we both picked him, so I'll take that. We'll get a
for
win
real. Let's
here.
go.
And then yeah, good job, David. But we move on to Raul Rosas Jr., who's pretty popular. against
Oh, yeah.
Vince Morales.
Kiwi.
The whole crowd did it too. Raul Rosas Jr. did defeat him via unanimous decision 29-28. So, Rule clearly his striking is getting better. I mean, we saw that in the past couple fights. He landed some nice strikes early that led into takedowns, and then they wrestled the entire rest of round one. Morales got on top of the last 30 seconds, though. Tried a few submissions, didn't get it. Round two, Raul got a quick takedown and controlled Morales the entire round. And then Raul got a takedown in 3 immediately, but then Morales reversed it, locked in a tight anaconda, and then transitioned into a dart stroke. It was fucking tight. I thought it was over, but it was not. Raul got out of it, got on top. Morales then got a necktie in at the end of the third. Again tight. Raul survived it again. I was like, damn, he's tough. They look tight. He was like clenching his jaw and like, I thought it was going to be over. But
for real, that was scary.
He survived
for people to pick him.
This was basically a wrestling match, a jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
And Raul Rosas just did better in round 1 too. So
yep, for real, dude. It was definitely not an amazing performance by any means. I think that it was kind of ended up being a tougher matchup than most people thought for Raul, where Vince was actually able to hold his own somewhat on the ground. So he definitely wasn't getting outclassed, I don't think. So it is another fight where I'm kind of wondering about Raul in terms of how good he'll be long term.
Yeah, I will say, this is going to sound weird, but Raul has good hips. And what I mean by that is, pause, in rounds 1 and 2, you could really tell when he would take the back, Vince was trying to shake him off, but he could not because Raul was like really using the hips to stay down, stay back. And then at one point in the round, I think it was round 2, Raul was on top of him, and Vince was just like hanging to the side and looking at his team like, I can't fucking get up. Like, I can't do anything. The kid's not big. Like, he definitely got bigger. He's got muscular. But he's not huge, but he must have like just like insane like pressure when he's against someone. They just can't move. Like it's pretty. It's good.
Well, his head is fucking massive, bro, for his size.
Yeah, he does have a big ass head, with big ass chin. But I mean, the wrestling. He can wrestle clearly, but it's just he's gonna have to work on. I don't know. First of all, he's gonna have to work on his wrestling defense a little bit because he was doing good on top, but then he would get reversed and then immediately locked in submissions. So he has to watch that. He's very lucky that he didn't get choked out.
Yeah, 100%.
And then obviously work on the striking because this kid says he's going to be a champion. Well, in this division, if he starts to go up higher, it's not going to look too hot. Like if he were to go fight a top 15 right now, I don't think you'd win. Especially losing to Christian Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
I agree where it's kind of tough. I want to give him some slack because he's so young and he has so much time to develop. So I'm like, this is probably nowhere near his best. At least I hope. So I do think he's improving, even if it's not as fast as we'd like in terms of him wanting to beat that John Jones record of youngest champion ever. I don't know if that's going to happen. But at least he was able to get the win. He definitely showed some toughness getting out of that chokes. Both of them were definitely pretty tight. So I thought he was about to lose, honestly. But he showed how tough he is and, did just enough to get the win. I definitely was not overly impressed because I don't rate Morales too highly in terms of, like, the toughest test you could possibly face, but I think in terms of their skill sets, he actually did match up pretty well against Raul, where he kind of was like a worse version of Raul, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Raul did mention that he also didn't think it was his best performance, so at least he knows that. But yeah, he did win. We both picked him. I thought it was clear to me that he was going to win. Like I said, I don't look at the odds, but I did know that Raul Rosas Jr. was like one of the highest favorites on the card. So not surprised about that. But yeah, I mean, decent performance. He got the win. So
Bro, it wasn't the most
there we
entertaining,
go.
but did what he had to do.
But then we got a couple finishes coming up here.
Oh
So we
yeah.
got Edgar Chairez defeats CJ Vergara via submission. Round one, a rear naked choke. Chairez looked sharp. He landed a big right hand that wobbled CJ like right away. Dude, I didn't even
Yeah.
see it. I looked down at my phone, and then all of a sudden, oh! And I looked up. He
Literally,
was fucking
bro.
like wobbling around. Luckily, obviously, I saw the replay, but I was like, holy shit, what just happened? And then he ended up dropping him, jumped on the rear naked choke, and got the win. Yeah, Chairez
Amazing.
looked good. And then he was
For
very
real.
emotional after. And this is what pissed me off. I have a lot to say about this, and this is not directed towards Chairez.
Mm-hmm.
But Chairez won, right? He's super emotional. He gets on the mic. He's crying. He says that he's so sad because, or I guess happy, sad, however mixed feelings, whatever. Because last year, I guess he had an arm injury, I don't know, broken arm or some sort of arm injury, and he could not pay for surgery. So his grandfather had to sell his truck in order to pay for his surgery. And now his grandfather passed away. So he's emotional about it, whatever. Okay, sad story, nice story, whatever. The UFC's like, oh, this is so inspirational, so sad. Bruh, fuck the UFC. Because this guy was on the roster last year. They should have paid for his surgery.
Literally.
They should have helped this guy out. You're saying that he's a UFC fighter and he can't even pay for surgery on his own arm, and you
Yeah.
have to let his grandfather sell his truck in order to pay it, and you can't pay it? He works for your company, and you don't pay him enough to get fucking surgery for his injury that I'm assuming probably happened either in sparring or in a fight? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
and
True.
they're over here talking about like some inspirational story, bro. No, that looks bad on the company, in my opinion. Pay
Oh
for your
yeah.
fighters' injuries. Like, what the
100%,
hell?
bro.
UFC's over here touting it like, oh, Chairez is this is so emotional. This is such an emotional moment. Fucking John Annick's like, we're down here crying, bro. I'm crying too because I feel bad for the fucking UFC fighters
Yeah. Literally,
who don't
bro.
get paid, bro. I was like, obviously that sucks. I feel bad. His grandpa passed away, had to sell his truck, whatever. But that shouldn't. Obviously, you can't help the grandfather passing away, but the truck thing should have never fucking happened because y'all should have paid for that shit.
For real,
Like,
bro.
and it's still happening right now. There's
Oh,
roster members on that roster who I know who are broke as fuck. Bro, pay your people. At least
I,
pay for their medical bills.
it just doesn't make any sense too from a fucking company standpoint either. It's like, oh, I have my fighters, which are essentially the most important thing in the entire promotion, is having the best fighters you can possibly have. Why would you not want them to be fully healthy and taken care of? I'm like, I just don't get that whatsoever. I'm like, you're supposed to be the best, ultimate fighting championship. How about you live up to that name, bro, and actually make sure they actually are taken care of medically? It's like, bro, why would you? I want a fighter. Why would I be running a fight company and then have injured fighters and be like, no, sorry, bro, you're gonna have to help yourself with that. Sorry,
Bro,
even though I'm the one paying you to fight, and I need you
apparently
to
not
fight,
enough.
for real, bro. Yeah, apparently not enough. You need. It's like for real. It's like what is it? It's like literally that's just such an issue. I'm like, if you can't even pay for a surgery when you're in the top, literally the highest possible echelon you can get, highest division you can get to, in being in the UFC. I understand you shouldn't be getting as paid as much as the top guys, but even the top guys aren't getting paid that much. So I'm like, bro, we need to
Yeah.
just up the scale, just move it, the starting point and move everything up a little bit. I'm like, it's such bullshit, bro. The company can grow as big as it pleases, but the pay seems to stay the same. And then they start taking away bonuses. No more fight of the night bonus. For real. I'm like, what is this bullshit?
And
I'm
still
like, why are you
50K.
guys taking shit away? Yeah, still 50K for how many fucking years now? It's just ridiculous, bro. So yeah, and I'm
And
like, the only way it's gonna change is fucking fans getting pissed about it, and hopefully fighters starting to do the same.
this one's even weirder. So WWE specifically, wrestling, but WWE specifically has so much fucking faults. I mean, I can go on for days about how much they piss me off.
Yeah.
But they're under the same company, TKO. TKO houses UFC and WWE. for all the faults they have, WWE does pay for any surgeries of their competitors, any medical bills. They pay that shit. If someone needs a surgery, they pay for it. They get the rehab. They do the surgery. All that shit, which is good. They should do that. They're under the same umbrella as TKO, and UFC doesn't do that. Like, why are you not doing it when the other company under your umbrella does do it, but you're not? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't
For
get it.
real. It's like I may as well just be a pro wrestler at this point.
Bro, literally.
I'm a fighter, for real, bro.
And you're not getting hurt as much anyways.
Yeah. For real, bro. So,
it's insane. It just blows my mind that the fighters don't have like a medical insurance or like something through whatever company in order to help them when they're literally probably taking the most damage out of any other job on the planet.
Yeah, for real. And it's like, even though the sport is growing and it's as popular as it's ever been, you're not going to draw in the best athletes. Kids aren't going to want to be MMA fighters growing up over some other sport where I don't get punched in the face and I don't have to worry about not getting paid and having to pay my own medical bills. Literally, I'm like, if I was a big athletic kid who's very gifted athletically, why the fuck would I go into MMA instead of some other sport, which I could probably do well?
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
do you want to be athletic, right? You want to feel, some sort of, I don't want to say combat, but rough sport.
Bro, some competitiveness.
Do I want to fight in UFC at the highest level where I get paid a fucking $100,000 to fight maybe and don't get medical bills?
If you're lucky, for real, though.
Or do I want to go possibly try and play football, get to the NFL, get millions and millions of dollars, and
literally
have shit paid for and all that? So, like, I would much rather go into football than UFC, bro.
100%. Or even boxing, bro. Even boxing, I'm like, bro.
Yeah, these boxers or football players are getting paid literally millions of dollars to do arguably take less damage than guys in the UFC who are getting fucking head kicked.
Bro. And then
limbs broken.
Basketball too, bro. It's every sport, basically. I'm like, for a kid, why would they want to do a sport that is more dangerous for less money? I'm like, as the sport gets bigger, for real, I'm like, if they actually want to become the biggest sport in the world, then they're going to have to start paying what it's worth, bro. I'm like, you can't be $1 billion company and then the most valuable thing to the company, aka the fighters. I'm like, there would be no fighting championship without fighters. Literally, they should be getting paid properly, and like, it's just insane, bro, for real. So hopefully that'll one day be slowly fixed. But yeah, it seems that the greedy fucking top of the UFC, that'll never happen.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're the biggest and best, and we sell out arenas, and we're the highest fucking grossing company. It's like, but our fighters are getting paid fucking peanuts, like,
for real, bro. Literally, I'm like, bro, I always think of fucking Impa Kasanganai or whatever, the dude who got fucking spinning back heel kick KO'd by Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah.
Joaquin Buckley has gone on to have a great UFC career, still has not got the chance to fight for a title or anything, not even like a top contender fight. Meanwhile, Impa is a multimillionaire, won $2 million from PFL. Literally, bro.
That's insane.
In a worse promotion. Literally, bro. I'm like, imagine
go to PFL, bro.
Right now. I'd be pissed. For real, bro. I'm like, the dude who I made the highlight reel off of literally is probably one of the most viewed knockouts in human history. But
he's richer than me.
Bro, probably 10 times richer than me. Literally, bro. Like, not even close to how much money.
Bro,
it's like Buckley probably makes money from the endorsements more than he does actual fight contracts.
100%.
It's insane, bro. It's just sad, for real, bro. It's just sad to see how, because I'm like, I love these fighters and how entertaining they are and how much they sacrifice for the entertainment. And then the company doesn't seem to appreciate it. They're like, we appreciate it enough just to keep you happy. Not enough to actually give you what you deserve. Just enough to keep you in my company, but not enough where you're actually generationally wealthy.
Yeah, it really is. It's actually dumb. But
for real, bro. Meanwhile, Dana, for real, bro, is the most like total rich as fuck, bro. For real, bro. I'm like, bro. And then he acts like he's the only reason this thing exists. For real, bro. I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
I can't.
it's bad. But Chavez did win, so let me
Bro,
see
we got
here.
a
Did
little
he get
sidetracked.
Chires did get a bonus, so he did get the extra 50K.
You can at least pay for surgery this time.
So Gutierrez, Martinez, Chires got bonuses, and then our next guy got a bonus. Manuel
Dude, yeah.
Torres defeats Drew Dober via knockout
This is
punch in
crazy.
round 1. Man, I shouldn't have won with Dober. I regretted this immediately. Like immediately. I was like, oh my god, Dober's gonna lose. And then he lost. I wrote down on my notes, damn, LOL, that was fast. Because it was, bro. He dropped him with a big right hand in about a minute. And then followed up shots on the ground. Okay, I will say this, though. Dober was knocked out. He was clearly out of it.
Yeah.
He took 16 follow-up strikes before the ref
For real,
stopped.
bro.
16 unanswered follow-up strikes before the ref
And he's just
in.
on the ground, for real, bro. Just like
he
on
was
his
out.
in the fetal position.
And he was like, it was a weird wet. Like he was out, but he wasn't out, but he was out.
Yeah.
Because he
It
was like
yeah.
awake, but he wasn't like out cold. Because the ref stopped it. He jumps, he's fucking wobbling around with his hands up, trying to fucking fight the referee. Yeah. And the ref's like, bro, it's over, you're out. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to keep fighting. Like, no, bro.
I can still fight.
He just got fucked.
Yeah, he got crazy, bro.
Yeah,
that's always scary to see. When fighters for real try to fight after, for real, bro. I'm like, that cannot be good for the brain. I'm like, oh, especially for someone like Dober who was so durable for so long, never basically getting dropped to now he's been KO'd multiple times now. So I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, is the chin starting to go for Dober? I mean, the chin has always been there. So,
bro,
it's just a question of durability.
It always reminds me of the Hurricane Shane fight where he got hit and looked
wobbles down. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like 10 seconds later, he didn't ever get hit again. But he fucking ran backwards and fell. It was so weird. Like
Barbosa fight for real, bro. Literally, I'm like, this just goes to show again. This kind of goes off of what we were just saying about fighter pay, bro. I'm like, look at what Dober just had to endure, for real, bro. I'm like, he probably made maybe 100K, for real, bro. Maybe 100K if he's lucky, for real, bro. Probably less because he lost. And literally, bro, got absolutely destroyed to the point where he thinks that he's still fighting after he just took 16 punches to the head. Literally, bro. I'm like, that was just so, man, it's just crazy to see when that happens, bro. Goes to show how hard Manuel Torres hits, though. I'm like, geez. Even the ref was scared to hop in there, bro. The ref was like, ooh. I'm like, bro, get in there. I'm like, stop it, bro. I'm like, this is bad for real, bro. I'm like, I saw some people saying it was back of the head. I'm like, bro, I'm not saying that. Like, that looks like side of the head.
Yeah, he had his head against his leg. And he was drilling him. I'm like, God damn.
That was so bad for real, bro. I felt horrible for Dober. Because he's such a nice guy, you know? He's never going to be saying the wrong thing. Dober's always a class act, so.
Bro, and this guy went on social media after and was like, I want to get right back in there. I'm like, bro, no.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if the doctors agree, for real.
He has a broken finger.
It's like, we know you wanted to get right back in there, bro. We can tell. You tried to fight. You tried.
Yeah, definitely not. But I did say this. I did say my MVP, if I had to pick one MVP of the entire card, it was Manuel Torres. This guy looks fucking good.
For real, bro.
Like, Gautier did great. Martinez did great. But I don't know. This guy right here, Manuel Torres, he's a problem. He's definitely a problem.
For real, bro. I think he's only lost once in the UFC so far. 4-1 in the UFC. He was coming off that L to Ignacio Bahamondes, so that's not even a bad L. So that L is aging better and better as it goes. So I think that, man, after that performance, he should be able to hop right back in, get some more momentum going. And, dude, this guy's just a finishing machine, bro. I'm looking at this ever since he was in the Contender Series, bro. He won by first round TKO. Then in his UFC debut, won by first round TKO. Then won again, first round TKO. Then first round submission, and then he gets finished in round 1. And then he gets another first round. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, this guy cannot get past round 1, bro. This is
I was
insane.
gonna say, I think all his finishes are around 1. It's wild. This guy
For
is
real. Shortest
this
ever
is a
fight
fighter.
time ever.
He's
Dude's
gonna
like
right
freaking
now.
Tom
It's Tom
Aspinall.
Aspinall.
For real, bro.
He's
Yeah.
gonna beat it. He might beat
For
it.
real, bro. Shit's crazy. Unless Tom goes in there and starches John in 1 second. Who knows? For
We'll
real,
see.
bro. Hopefully we see that.
But yeah, Torres. He looks.
For real,
So
bro.
shout
What
out to
the
him.
fuck? I did not notice how he's literally a first round demon. For real,
Yeah,
bro.
he's a beast.
Literally, am I
He's
even
really
in
a
his
beast.
old, even in his before he was in the UFC, for real, bro. All of his fights, literally, besides since 2018. Oh no, yeah, since 2018, first round, I believe. That is insane, bro. Bro
He's
does
good.
not go past round 1.
Yeah,
He's either
good.
winning or losing in round 1. For real, bro. It's like
We'll
me and
take it,
UFC
too.
5 online, for real. Bro. I'm like, I'm going for the knockout.
I'm just swinging. If I fall, fuck it. If he falls, fuck it.
For real, bro. Crazy.
But yeah, he's gonna be good. So shout out to him. Hopefully, he gets a solid fight next because he's entertaining to watch.
For real.
So
bro.
yeah, this got bumped up to the co-main. It was supposed to be Pfeiffer and Kelvin.
Yeah.
But that's off. And then we move into the. Hey, I will say though, shout out to this fight not happening, Kelvin and Pfeiffer, because I talked to Max. I was so fucking torn on who would win this fight.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even need it. Thank God. Because I picked full disclosure, he picked Pfeiffer, I picked Kelvin. I was so like torn because I was like, damn, Kelvin could just wrestle him the whole time and get the win that way. But then I have a feeling that Pfeiffer could knock him out because whatever you say about Pfeiffer, he does hit fucking hard apparently. So,
for real, bro. It's basically a win for you, though, bro. I'm like, bro got taken out by the Mexican food, so I mean, that's basically a win for you.
Kelvin wins. Let's go.
For real, bro. Kelvin wins by default.
But then we
so
move on to the main event, though. The main event was solid. It wasn't the craziest, but there was some good stuff in here, I will say.
Yeah.
Like I noted immediately, I said Brandon Moreno's looking sharp as ever in this first round. That's what I noted. This guy's fucking his boxing looked really clean. He was looking good. He landed he landed multiple big shots that had Erceg's attention. But Erceg was doing good with the leg kicks. That was his thing. He was really targeting the legs. He was doing good. But man, Brandon Moreno, they did a little piece on him where he talked about how he's always had a Mexican style of boxing, but he had that boxing Mexican style where he would fight but not defend. And his coaches were really working on him using his head movement and actually putting his defense up. And he did a decent job at that. Obviously, he'll get better, but he was getting caught a little bit later. But in the early going, he looked good. He looked really good. The boxing was clearly fucking just amazing, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And then this was basically a boxing fight the whole time, a little kickboxing fight.
Yeah.
Round 2, Erceg started to turn it up a little bit, landed some nice shots. Moreno's movement was really good, I noted. Round 3, Steve was looking even better. He landed some nice shots to the body as well. Brandon would throw out the odd leg kick, but for the most part, Erceg was going for head, body, leg with the kicks, like just all up and down. I thought that Steve definitely won round 3. Moreno then took round 4 with some solid strikes, and then he did land a takedown at like the very end of the round. Another close round on round 5, but I thought Moreno won it. He scored another takedown at the end of the round and sealed the deal for him. There was a lot of talk on what rounds went where, but it ended up Brandon Moreno defeated Steve Erceg unanimous decision, 49-46 across the board. So they gave Steve, I guess, round 3, and then a lot of people were saying that it could have been 1-4 or just 5-0. I didn't see it at all. I kind of thought we were 2-2 going in the 5th because I thought that Steve Erceg won 2 and 3. I thought he definitely could have won round 2. People were saying that Moreno clearly won 1-2, and even some were saying 3. But I thought 2 and 3 were Erceg. I don't know. I thought 2 was obviously closer, 3 was definitely Erceg. I don't care what anyone says, but 2 was closer. But I edged it to Erceg because he started really working with the legs and he was going to the body and the head. So I don't know. It just to me, I thought it was 3-2, but a lot of people had it either 5-0 or 4-1. But
Yeah. I
I
had it
gave
honestly,
Erceg a
yeah,
little more props.
3-2 as well, bro. It's like when it comes to scoring for me, it's hard for me personally to differentiate between closer rounds where I'm like, man, a lot of the time they're so up in the air. I'm like, dude,
It's
that
hard
could
for
go
them
either
to
way.
differentiate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, sometimes I'm like, shit, I don't even know. So I'm like, I'm just going to say it's a close fight and call it a day for real, bro, because that was definitely a close fight. I think that if anyone thought it was 5-0, I'm like, bro, I don't know about that. I'm like, that's a little crazy,
Yeah.
bro. I'm like, I know stats don't mean everything, but and I do agree with the decision with Moreno winning, but
Yeah, fully
according to the
agree. Moreno
numbers,
won.
Steve Erceg outstruck him in every single round.
Yeah.
So I'm
The
like,
takedowns really helped him in 4 and 5 for
yeah.
sure.
So I'm like,
But
5-0 is a little crazy for some people to be saying. I'm like, damn, no love for Steve for real, but I do feel bad for Steve how this is now 3 losses in a row for him. Starting back at that Pantoja fight where he was kind of propelled into it a little early.
they put this motherfucker against the Avengers. It's not fair for Steve.
Bro. Literally, bro. Pantoja, Kai, and now Moreno. I'm like, God damn, bro. I'm like, maybe cool it down.
Imagine if Figueiredo was still in this division. I bet you they would
For
have put him
real.
against him. I bet you they would have instead of Kai.
100%, dude. So, yeah, I feel bad for Steve, bro, because he's not, besides the Kai Kara France one where he got caught bad, the championship fight where against Pantoja, he looked competitive for sure. And then in this one, yeah. And then in this one, he looked very competitive as well. So it's like, it's not like this guy's some scrub who's getting the opportunities undeservingly. It's like he definitely can hang, but I just don't think it was beneficial for him to be thrown into the wolves right away when he was only ranked number 8 or something in the division. I get the Pantoja didn't have any opponents, but yeah, now you're looking at Steve Erceg as a guy with 3 losses in a row. So he's really going to need to get back into get back in the win column.
Now Pantoja has 3 possible opponents. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's fighting Kai. And now you have Moreno, who just won here, and then you have blanking fucking shit, why am I blanking on his name?
Who are you thinking of?
Black dude
Cobb?
Yeah, Manal Cobb. He's definitely up there. You can get a shot.
Oh yeah.
And then like I said, I'm pretty sure Kai's getting the fight. But then Brandon Moreno then called for a title fight after at I guess Noche is going to be in Mexico in Guadalajara in September.
Finally.
He wants to be on it, so
we know Joe Piper won't be there.
Yep, yeah, that's true. And then if Moreno gets a fight for the title, wins it, he'll be the first ever 3-time champion in the same division.
Yeah, that would be insane, dude. It's just insane how Moreno, no matter how far he gets from that title run, bro, he just always is putting on good fights. Never, pretty much never in a boring fight. I'm like, I just love Moreno. He's a great guy outside of the ring and then as well as inside. So
and dude, so Steve, I was really like impressed with how Steve handled the loss. He was like,
I agree, dude. For real, I saw him as when they said 49-46, he like looked at his corner. He's like, for him, and they're like, yeah, and he's like, damn. It's like he knew he probably didn't do quite enough, and yeah, he handled it great. Especially for someone coming off 3 losses, especially with where 2 of them were arguably, some would argue, could have gone his way.
They interviewed him after. He was like, I just needed to do better. Like, fair enough. Like, okay.
For real, though. He did a lot of good things in there. So, yeah, just a little more tweaks, and he could be back.
So, I ended off at 8-4. You were 10-2. You did great this week. I needed you to do bad, and you didn't.
The favorites had my back.
I got 66 total wins while you had 77. So, I'm still have a positive record, but I'll take it.
Bro, but we're still both crushing it, bro. I'm pretty sure that they said I'm pretty sure it was favorites have like 70 wins and then like 50. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, we're pretty good compared to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's not bad at all for real, bro. I'm like, it's pretty hard to pick UFC fights, though. I'm like, you never know what the fuck is gonna happen, bro. I'm like, you can tell when we have our bad weeks, for real, bro. It's shit's hard, for real.
And then we do have another one next week. Bang.
For real, bro. We've had so many in a row. This is insane.
Yeah. It's like 4 or 5 now.
Yeah, at least, bro. It's insane.
We have a fight night, and then here's the worst part.
Apex.
We're back in the Apex. No more crowds. So we had a little streak there of all crowds, and now we're done.
Thanks, Dana.
Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy is your UFC Fight Night Apex headliner. This is a little bit of a later card. 9 p.m. start time, Eastern Standard Time on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Super excited for this. Very interested to see that. Number 8 versus number 10. Number 8, Josh Emmett, who's coming off an insane knockout, is the underdog. Interesting. I know Lerone Murphy's undefeated and stuff, but I have some faith in Josh Emmett.
Kind of crazy.
Then we have Pat Sabatini versus Joe Anderson Brito in the co-main event. So it'd be decent. Cratavius Romanos is back against Ingo Lee. This kid was pretty good on the Contender Series. Really good wrestler, so we'll see how he does. Kennedy Njeku versus Martin Buday. Brad Tavares is back against Gerald Mearshart. Torres Finney is back against Robert Valentine.
Let's go.
Robert from Tough.
Yeah.
And Torres from Dana White Contender Series. This little fucking meatball, this cannonball.
For real, bro.
He's getting a shot in the UFC. I'm excited for it. He deserves it. The guy had to win twice on the Contender Series for them to finally give him a fucking contract.
Bro. They really made him work for that shit.
He's small, but this dude's literally a tank.
Well, he's small and huge at the same time.
Dude, you tell him, look at his fucking shoulders, his neck.
For real, bro.
God.
It's like if you told me these two are the same size, I'd be like, wait, what?
For real. Prelims kicking off at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ode Osborne versus Louis Gurriel is the headliner. Davey Grant versus Daniel Santos. Santos is pretty good. Diana Belbita versus Dion Barbosa. It's our women's fight. Reese McKee versus Daniel Frenza. Estelle Nunes versus Loma Lookbunmi in the women's strawweight division. And then we have Victor Henry's back against Pedro Falcao. And we have Vanessa Demopoulos versus Talita Alencar. So solid little fight night here. Nothing insane, but there's some decent fights.
Yeah.
O'Day's back. Torres Finney's back. Brad Tavares looking to get a win.
Yeah, definitely not the worst.
We're going to die. Romanos I'm excited for. Brito's good. I like Brito. And then main event. I'm super, super interested in this main event. I mean, like I said, Lerone Murphy on a hell of a roll. Feels like he could be next up for a featherweight title. If he wins here, I think he could be next up. But
especially in good fashion.
But Josh Emmett is coming off one of the craziest knockouts we've seen, and he's still pissed off at Bryce Mitchell. He wants to do it again, so maybe he'll take that out on Lerone Murphy. If I'm Lerone Murphy, I'm terrified for this fight because Josh Emmett is looking like a fucking world beater after giving anesthesia last time out.
He hits so hard for the featherweights, bro. It's just ridiculous.
It's almost not fair. It's almost not fair. He's too small to be hitting that hard. But fun UFC Mexico should be fun next week, and then after that, I'm pretty sure the pay-per-view we're in. So I think it's fight night then pay-per-view. Yep. So we're fucking back to back weeks.
Oh yeah,
and I think there's a little break. I think there's a little break with the pay-per-view. So, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But
we'll have to, carefully think about these picks next week. Hopefully we do good again. Run it back. Another good one. Back-to-back good weeks, hopefully. We're still trying to get that undefeated week. Still never done every pick right.
Next week. It's coming next week for me.
Let's go.
Maybe I'll look at the betting odds and bet all favorites and see how that works.
The 10-leg.
But yeah, thanks for watching, listening, wherever you watch or listen. We're on. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, Facebook, X, YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff, and you can follow us here under our names. And then, of course, Body Slam Net MMA on X, posting, live tweeting, all that good stuff. So, yeah, make sure to check us out, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Next week.